Alright, so for today, you're going to be doing an activity in class, and it has something to do with what we just talked about with biodiversity. Now, it's going to involve the jar that is full of beads at the front of the room, and you'll notice that, and it's going to involve this jar represents a ferret population, and each one of the beads represents a type of trait in that ferret population. So you can see some instructions here. You don't need any of this, so I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. So down here, these are, and you'll have a copy of this, all the different traits that might exist in this ferret population, the different genetic diversity. Well, something happens to your population, and we're going to represent that by you taking this jar of beads, or this giant beaker of beads, and putting in your hand about 10 or 15 beads. I don't want you to count them, just kind of be random about it. But you don't need 60 beads. You just need between 10 and 15 or so. And that's a bottleneck event. Remember we talked about bottlenecking in the evolution unit? Well, something happens and your population has this bottleneck. Well, if you only get 10 or 15 beads, you're likely not to get all 9 of these different genetic characteristics. And so what you're going to do then is you're going to take your population, your new population that is not as complete as it once was, and you're going to answer these questions. You're going to calculate the percent of the different genes. You're going to talk about the different characteristics that you have now and you don't have now. And then I'm going to give you 5 different situations. And they're going to be represented on these little sheets, these little cutout things. I'm going to have this in a bowl or something in the front of the room. And you're going to come up here and draw 5 of them out. Well, and you're going to take them and you're going to answer them according to your population. So like, let's pick one at random. A badger is moving quietly around the prairie dog town. Does your population have the gene for acute hearing to detect and avoid this predator? Given its genetic makeup, how would your population survive? And so you're going to take that situation and you're going to answer that question about how your population might survive. Does it have the acute hearing tract? If it doesn't, what's going to happen to your population over time as this badger continues to wreck your prairie dog town? Well, could be lots of different things going on here. What I don't want, so number 4 is where you're going to take these 5 environmental situations. I don't want just simple one-word answers here. It will survive or it will die. That's not going to work for me. You need to talk about these questions. Is the population genetically equipped to survive the environment? How well or how poorly? Does it have a high or low percentage chance of doing it? How do random changes in the environment affect the population? So you need to answer these questions with each of the 5 situations that you've been given. Work on this in your groups. Should take you the rest of the class period, maybe a little bit of time left, but this is something that you should turn in at the end of the class period today. So you're going to take this sheet right here and you're going to staple onto it, or I guess you could just write on the back of this sheet your 5 situations, put the team numbers or team members here at the top, and this is something you're going to turn in before you leave today.